Thunder Ridge TV, how we doing? You are the first one to comment in my live tonight. You know what that means, buddy. Yes, you did. You got it. Best Friends Outdoors, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. You guys, I see you guys popping up in the chat. It's not showing that I have anybody in the chat, but you're posting, so I'm going to go with that. Daddy Duck 365, how we doing tonight? You still want to try and come up here on panel? As you guys see, my backdrop's a little bit different. I'm going to try and do this outside. I've been outside working pretty much all day yesterday. I'm doing real good, Best Friends Outdoors. Thanks for asking. Taking a little bit of a break, sitting on the composite deck I just had put down. And my wife's got some new furniture. And the cushions are all pretty brand new. So we're going to have to get this thing kind of sat in and make it a little more comfortable. Yeah, Daddy Duck, we'll here shortly when we get a bunch of people in here, we'll I'll post a link. You'll see it'll show up in the live chat. And I believe all you got to do is click on that link and it'll kind of on your screen it'll take you through. I was hoping maybe I don't know if I can or not, but you look right up over my shoulder there's my container garden. Oh, there we go. It's actually doing pretty good. I've got a few tomatoes started. Looking pretty nice. I got two yellow squash growing pretty good. So, Shiner Guy, how you doing tonight? Thanks for stopping in. My plans are, buddy, after I'm done, we're going to come over if you're going live tonight. We got 4 in the chat. It's a beautiful day, you know, after all this rain and stuff. Pretty beautiful day. A lot of people are probably still outside. Not sure how it's going to go. Hopefully we get enough people in here to help out Daddy Duck 365. I did talk with Bees Beyond Blessed. One of the shirts that I have purchased is on its way, and it's going to be coming to me, I believe, either Monday or Tuesday. It should arrive. I'm hoping to show it in next Sunday, and then the following Sunday after that, I should be at my 2,000 watch hours, and we're going to do the giveaway. Yeah, Best Friend Outdoors. Let me got to get on my phone here. That's something, guys. I just noticed. I come into the StreamYard here, and they actually have it set up now that you can actually use a mobile device. So if you're on the go, and something that's a good feature. I think a lot more people will be using StreamYard if that's the case. Yeah, Shiner Guy, you'll be going live at about 9 o'clock. That's what you've been doing lately, and I really appreciate it. You come in here for about an hour, and then you head out and get your live up and going. I usually try to go to about 10 o'clock. That's when I've noticed I start dropping people, and That's when I've decided I'm going to start. I'm going to start raiding, and who better to raid than the Shiner guy? Georgia Trapping and Fishing in the house. How you doing? Doing good. Beautiful day out, so I figured I'd do the backdrop of my backyard over my shoulder. I was just showing everybody I can lift up my laptop and you can see my container garden back there. Yeah, okay, so you did see that as well, Daddy Duck. Bass and Banks TV. How are we doing, bud? Josh, have you been doing any fishing? CP Grand Outdoors showing up in Boxy's live. How you doing, bud? Judith Davis in the house. We got 8 of you guys in here. We're gonna bring Daddy Duck 365 is gonna come up on panel. Um, we're hoping between him and I, we can figure out how to get him on here. Um, everybody's saying hello to everybody. That's good. I like to see that. Yeah. Hey, Shiner guy, you were going. I was the one that backed into your time frame. I did not realize Sunday nights at 9 o'clock you went live. I thought it was a little bit later. Um, hey, yeah, that's fine. Um, steady and easy. I get to do my thing, and you're doing your thing, and I think we're both doing good with that. So I'm fine with that. So yes, Judith Davis said hit that thumbs up. So we got 9 guys, or nine guys. We got 9 people in the chat. So we're about ready to start this thing. Um, I want to talk a little bit about the channel itself with Daddy Duck 365, and then I'm going to post a link, and then we'll bring him up here, and you guys will get to ask him whatever you want. But before I do that, 11 people that are in here, most of you guys, David Tornell, thanks for stopping in. How you doing? Um, I know Duck. I think it was called Duck Master Outdoors. He might be coming in. He had commented on one of the comments that I commented on to see if I was going live. So I'm hoping to see him come in here. WNB Fishing, how you doing? He's reaching for 150, guys. So what I do is I showcase a channel. Um, how I go about doing that is the first person to comment in my live that has under 1,000 subscribers, I will showcase their channel. Tonight, Thunder Ridge TV ended up hitting the first comment. So next week we'll be checking out Thunder Ridge TV. It should be pretty exciting. Fishing Trucker, how you doing tonight? Thanks for stopping in. We're trying to. We're going to be watching Daddy Duck 365. We're going to start talking about his channel here a little bit. I'm going to set the link up, and he's going to come up on panel with me. Hey, Farmall, how you doing? I bet you today you've been working on the fields. Are they dry? I know you probably got a ton of that rain that I got that came through. Papa Backyard Farm. Hey, thanks for stopping in. One more thing, guys, I want to talk about is this giveaway that I'm going to be doing. I got a shirt. I talked with D's Beyond Blessed. I should have it Monday or Tuesday. So next Sunday during my live, we're going to Coffee Outdoors. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, guys, if you can share this out, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Most importantly, we want to look at Daddy Duck 365 and get him some support, right? It's all about the supporters. Food Fight Slowdown coming a regular in here, Boxes Outdoors. I really appreciate that. So this giveaway, next Sunday, I'm going to be wearing the shirt so I can show everybody. It's going to give me about a week to try to hit that 2,000 mark, and then I believe it'll be the Sunday after that I will do the giveaway. So Duckmaster Outdoors, how you doing? Sorry about missing your comment there. I saw Tubby Guy Outdoors answered it for me. I've been doing a lot of work outside the last 2 days. Got a lot of projects. I just started a shed project. M&K Outdoors, thanks for stopping in. Okay, guys, so we got 17 in this chat. Please hit that thumbs up, share this thing out. We're going to take a look at Daddy Duck 365, and we're going to try to get him up here on panel. Geo Bushcraft. As you guys see, I'm outside tonight. Got my backyard over my shoulder. And if I probably went directly in that direction, I'd probably hit Geo Bushcraft's place probably in about 6 miles. All right, so Daddy Duck 365. Okay, guys. Now this his name is Matt. I know I can use his name because he says it in every single one of his videos. He says his name. So his name is Matt. His channel has been on Facebook or on YouTube for since February 6th, 2020. He's got 37 videos and about 3,465 views. So in those short months, he's got a lot of content up here. I see he's got 3 private videos. So it could be videos that he already has uploaded and they're ready to go. So guys, let's share him out. If I do have any mods in here, if you could share his out, share his link out, I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, okay, so you're at 39 videos. Okay, I can only see 37. For some reason, I got a couple that are showing private. But there you go. Best Friend Outdoors. Thanks for sharing that link. Guys, there's the link. Get over to check out Daddy Duck 365. So as I was looking, 6 playlists. So we're going to take a look at 4 of the playlists. But he has one that's miscellaneous. It's got 6 videos. Product reviews has 2 videos. Daddy Duck 365 is uploads. There's 32 in that. Tips and tactics, he's got 18. And there's a conservation, there's 8. And then cooking, he's got 2. So with that, I'm going to try and get this link up here. All right, Daddy Duck 365. Right there, you'll see Boxy Outdoors. I posted that link. Click on that link. Yeah, who all got out there fishing? Well, we're waiting for 365 to try and grab this link up. Yeah, Judith Davis, thank you for that. Daddy Duck. Judith Davis is an awesome supporter. She's also very. She's got a lot of good tips and tricks and helpful information. Duckmaster Outdoors. How you Section 8 is not, I haven't seen Section 8 in here yet. But I do know he is the one that actually took you or brought you to my live. So that's cool. Frontier Survive. Section 8 is not, I haven't seen Section 8 in here yet. I think turn down your audio maybe. He is the one that took you or brought you to my live. So that's cool. Frontier Survive. Section 8 is not, I haven't seen Section 8 in here yet. I think turn down your audio maybe. He is the one that took you or brought you to my live. So that's cool. Survive. Section 8 is not, Matt, you have some earbuds you can put in.
Yeah, hang on. Just earbuds, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just getting my feedback out of your kind of weird here listening to yourself that way. Your husband taught you to trap, so you could help him on the line. Hey, smart man, right? Kind of weird here, listening to yourself that way. Oh, okay. Hey Matt, Shiner Guy says all you need to have is the StreamYard audio going. Hey, smart man, right?
Not sure if it's working or not.
Oh, okay. Hey Matt, Shiner Guy says all you need to have is the StreamYard audio going.
Say that one more time.
He said that all you need is the StreamYard audio going. It's because of the delay on the audio. All right, guys. Well, we kind of get that figured out. Mute the YouTube feed, Matt. So what it is you got the YouTube feed going, and it's the audio coming through the YouTube. And there's a different. I know there is a delay. Now, a lot of people have told me that I can pop that YouTube chat out and actually put it over top of this chat because it's more in sync. But yeah, the notifications thing, that's been crazy. Raymond Williams, thanks for stopping in. So I don't know, Matt, I'll post this link again for you there, bud. Not sure if you're going to need that. So while we're trying to get Matt up here on panel, like I mentioned, 19 in the chat. Please, guys, give me a thumbs up. Share this out. Let's bring some channels in here to help out Daddy Duck 365. He's if you're into duck hunting, this channel is an absolute must for you. So I know there's a gentleman, Duck Master Outdoors, that just came in. I know you and Matt will definitely probably have a lot in I almost missed them. There's Boxy Arnold. That'd be Boxy Senior. He's in the house. So we were supposed to go fishing yesterday, and it proceeded to rain. But yeah, anybody that has duck hunting or anything with duck conservation or anything like that is going to have a lot in common with Daddy Duck 365. Uh, WNB Fishing, you're just in time. We've been going for 17 minutes. Now, if you're trying to be the first one to comment in my live so that way I can showcase you the following Sunday, then yes, you were late. That goes to Thunder Ridge TV. He outbeat Best Friend Outdoors by a few seconds. So let's try this again. How you doing? Midwest Duck Slayer. There you are. You're in the house. That's cool. Tom Cutledge and Everything Outdoors. We did his channel last week, so it's nice to see he's back in here. Hope Tom's feeling a lot better. Georgia Trapping and Fishing just said he picked you up there, Daddy Duck. Frontier Survival, asking everybody how they're doing. Can you hear me there, Matt?
I'm hearing a lag is what I'm hearing.
You're hearing a lag.
Wait.
You got to get some of these StreamYard guys help us out here a little bit. Oh yeah, got to have the fireworks there. Yeah, make sure you hit that thumbs up.
Not exactly sure what I need to do.
Yeah, you kind of cut out there. So when you're hearing my audio, is it coming in way after I'm on to something else?
I can see your lips moving, and then I hear you, and then I hear you again.
Okay, so do you have YouTube opened up as well?
Yes.
Try shutting YouTube off and just coming through StreamYard. I don't know if that'll work or not.
Okay. All right. All right. Let me
Yeah.
let me see what I can do here.
Shiner Guy is saying listen to the audio from StreamYard. So all you got to do is on the YouTube page, just mute it. Just go down and you'll see where your volume is and hit mute. Yeah. So while he's trying to get that going, let's talk a little bit about some product reviews that he did. He's got 2 videos, guys. The one is Flatwood Lanyards. Lanyards, I guess is how you pronounce that. Nope, you muted the wrong one. You want the one that you muted, the StreamYard one, you want to keep open, I believe. Unpaved Explorer, thanks for stopping in.
How about now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can't hear nothing. All right, I'm going to shut down YouTube, and I'm going to try to come back through StreamYard if you hear me.
Okay. Not sure. Is that going to work there, Shiner Guy? CP, you got. I need to get. I need to get up to Michigan to see you. I need to get over to the East Coast over there and try to pick up some clams, dinner plate size. You got to get that on video. I want to see them.
How about now?
All right, round 3. Yeah, you're good now. How am I? You good?
Oh, you're perfect.
Okay.
At least the voice and your lips are moving in sync. It's not like I'm watching a Chinese movie.
Hey, well, either that or I was going to say I'm a ventriloquist, but we know that. So, guys, well, I guess it'd be that way. That's kind of weird.
I'm this way.
Hey, there's Matt from Daddy Duck 365. So,
how's it going, guys?
This is kind of cool. This is kind of something that I've been wanting to try, and I've kind of back and forth with, because I know I'm not very good at watching the chat over there. And so, of course, the chat is basically where we get all of our support from. So we don't want to leave anybody out over there. Now, I don't know. Are you able to see the chat?
No, I can't see. It's well, wait a minute. Let me.
So, yeah. So that's why you want to keep, if you could keep YouTube open.
There we go.
Okay. So,
all right, I got it. I'm strictly in StreamYard right now.
Okay. And you can actually see the chat.
I can see the chat now.
Okay, good. So, Geo Bushcraft saying, "Hey, Matt."
I got that. Hey, Bushcraft. Midwest Duck Slayer.
Yeah, an Unpaved Explorer. He's given out his name. Someone must have asked. It's John Coffey. He mentions that in most of his videos as well. So I know I can say his name. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Shiner Guy. He has the chat on StreamYard as well. So I was just about ready to get into your the one playlist. The one I wanted to start with it only has 2 videos in it. It's the product review.
Yeah.
Flatwood Lanyards. So I watched
Yes.
that. It looked like a really nice paracord type lanyard. Now, that is a buddy of yours that makes it, or is it a place that you?
I actually found him through Facebook, and as soon as I saw his lanyards, I went, man, that looks well built. and started talking to him, and he built me that lanyard.
Yeah, if anybody can post his link, keep that running, I'd appreciate it.
Here's one he just built me. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's got a really wide neck band. This is what's called a 3-drop loop. So it's basically for 3 duck calls. Each of these loops, one goes around the barrel, one goes around the tone board, and that he built a duck strap, so you hang your ducks on them.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't know if anybody here has ever hung a duck, but basically just does. Let's see. There you go. Put duck's head through the loop. There you go.
There. Beautiful. White Bone Outdoors. How you doing?
He also makes a lot of other things. He makes coyote totes, turkey totes. You guys are interested in the e-collars, the electronic collars for varmint hunting. He can make a strap for it. He can make a gunsling. Anything out of paracord, he can make it. And it's really quality stuff.
Yeah. You said me. Duckmaster Outdoors said me. Could it be him that's making these? Is that what you mean by that? Me?
I don't know.
White Bone Outdoors. I appreciate stopping in, even though you can't stay long. Yeah, I appreciate you giving me that thumbs up. Yeah, I'm doing real well.
The Duckmaster has one.
Oh, you have one. Okay, that's good. They look like they're very nice, well built. So Thunder Ridge TV wants to know what you're dipping on. So he must know you're doing some stuff there.
Care Bear.
The old grizzly. So another one that I watched was the other video in this this product review was the Lifetime Decoy. You did an unboxing and review on that. And
yes.
you know, I am not a duck hunter. I went duck hunting in the past with a buddy one season, and seemed like a blast. But you know, the too many irons in the fire, and it looks like just like everything else. You know, I could probably have sunk a lot of money into duck hunting, but definitely a blast. And I was looking at those decoys, and I tell you what, they look like. I mean, it looked like a really realistic duck. In your review, it you know, throwing them out there and they flipped right up the right side, and looked like just with a little bit of wind, it had a nice little kind of movement to it. So very good call or decoys.
Yeah, they're kind of pricey, but this will be my 48th year duck hunting. I started when I was 7 years old. I'm 55 now, so you know, do the math. Mm-hmm. But I have shot over all kind of decoys, whether it be cork, herders foam, herders burlap, plastic, blow ups. You know, I mean, just all kind of decoys. And had these decoys been out a while back, I would have probably have bought they's back then. They're just that durable. They're made out of I think it's called EVA foam. I guess it's the same stuff that you make your Crocs. If people wear Crocs, they float real well. They're really wide.
You mentioned that in the video. You mentioned in the video that it seemed like it was like made out of that Croc material.
It is. Good wide decoy. So when the birds are above you and looking down, they got a wide decoy to look at, which stands out. And they're light. I mean, I think they're like 19 ounces with the weight and 11 ounces without the two little weights are in the keel. That's what keeps it right side up. And
so keep that thought that you just mentioned there, as the ducks are coming over top and they're looking down and they see that decoy. Probably near the end of what I have written down here to talk about, there's something that I want to talk to you about as far as the eyesight of ducks and stuff like that. So just remember that this prompted me. I already have something written down about this, and it's because of one of your other videos. You might already know, but the people in the chat don't know what I'm going to be talking about.
Okay.
So Tom Cullidge is saying that it's probably the same material as the cheesehead hats for the Packers.
I don't know. I don't watch football anymore.
So next thing, let's talk about your cooking, your playlist cooking. He's got I think it's 2 videos in that as well. The one I really liked was the cooking the biscuits out there.
Oh yeah.
You were having a slow day, and hey, what better if you can't get ducks to fill the belly, you might as well get something filling it, right?
That's right. With that said, let me back up just a second. This idea that I've had has been for a long, long time, and just never knew how to go about doing it. Last year, last duck season, I said, I'm going to do this, period. So camera went with everywhere. I set up everything, had people helping me while we were duck hunting. But we had a very, very bad year. It never got cold. And it was just couldn't find enough birds to make video from. So we were sitting there, and I said, I'm hungry. I always carry my biscuit maker and sausage with me when we're hunting. And I had these 2 boys that were hunting with me, and I said, hey, man, roll film. Just roll. I'm just going to talk and cook biscuits. So that's how that came about. But, yeah, we cook every time we go duck hunting. I'm cooking. So if there's more than just me, I'm cooking something. You come hunt with me, you're going to eat. I guarantee you that. I'm way too fat not to eat.
I hear you there. So Duckmaster Outdoors, he was agreeing with the bad season. He said they only killed 28 ducks last season.
Oh, yeah. I think the crew that I hunt with, I think myself and them included, on all the hunts we went on, I think we may have killed 50. But it was just a bad year. I mean,
right.
I average 150 a year, and it was just bad, terrible.
Right. Which we'll talk a little bit about, maybe one of the causes or thoughts behind some of that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We could spend the next 2 hours.
I was gonna say we could be here all night, but you have a video out that you're talking about it. So I want to just make sure that that everybody that's in this chat, anybody that's going to come over to your channel, it's something that that you are discussing, and that you have your views and your points, and likewise everybody will have theirs.
Okay.
Sometimes the law is not the best for everybody, but it is the law, and unfortunate in some circumstances. But we'll touch that a little bit later, because I want to talk about these duck steaks that you made.
Oh, my duck steaks? Yeah, yes. I love them things, man. Oh,
because I know it's all about the way you prepare and cook. But I told you I went duck hunting with a buddy of mine one time, and we got a couple ducks, and so they gave them to me, and I cooked them, and I actually did grill them. Well, I either overcooked them or something, because they were not so
terrible. All right, let me tell you this. Let me tell you the history about my cooking. I grew up in a restaurant family. My grandfather and grandmother owned a restaurant. My dad, who is an outdoor writer, he has written three cookbooks, and all of it's wild game,
Mm-hmm.
from a possum to deer. Okay, so anything in between. So I get my love of cooking from there. And one thing about ducks is you can't overcook them. Medium rare. Medium rare. If you cook it any more than that, it's garbage.
Right.
Now, I cook my ducks a lot of different ways, but on that particular video, I did duck steaks, and I cooked them just like you cook. I breast them out, season them with McCormick steak seasoning, which, come on, that's a really good steak seasoning.
You can put that on anything.
Yeah, yeah, anything. And I grill them medium rare and low heat. I think I had Brussels sprouts. Did I cook Brussels sprouts on that one? I think so. And sweet potatoes.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you did oven. You oven roasted some Brussels sprouts.
I had pre-cooked. Now the sweet potatoes were pre-cooked. My wife actually pre-cooked them several months back and had put them in the freezer. So we just popped them in the oven just to warm them up. But the Brussels sprouts, I cut them in half, salt, pepper, olive oil, into the oven they go, and they come out. The sauce, I think I made a raspberry and apple glaze.
Yep, it was. Yep, you used some raspberry jam, and then there was a bottle, and I can't remember who makes it or something like that. But it's
that was Blue Hog barbecue sauce.
Yep, Blue Hog barbecue sauce.
I actually took this recipe with the glaze from a video that I saw. A guy was doing a spiral cut ham, and he used that raspberry apple glaze. And I said, I think that tastes good on a duck. Let me try it.
Right.
And I did, and it brought a whole new flavor to the bird.
Right.
So, yeah.
Tag and Tails Outdoors. Thanks for stopping in. And if I missed you already and you've been in here, I apologize for that. But he's saying y'all want to know the secret of good duck breast is to marinate them in Coca-Cola overnight.
I've heard that. I know some boys that when we go in the swamp, they do it because they have Coca-Cola with them. But I'm because I got to touch it up in their bourbon. But I like my kitchen when I'm cooking ducks, and I like to sit there and take my time with it.
Yeah,
make a meal out of it.
So Midwest Duck Slayer, he asks a question: how do you determine when to breast out a duck or send it to a taxidermist?
Check his wings and check his head. If you've got too much shot in his head, taxidermists, they don't like to touch them. If the wings are broken up real bad, they don't want to touch as well. So that would be. And I hunt with a dog. So if you have a dog and you think you may have a mount that's worthy, then I would say go retrieve it yourself. If you can, go get it yourself, and then take a look at it. If that's what you want, then put it in a safe place. That's what we do.
So what's your favorite duck to shoot?
Oh my gosh.
Just one.
Every one of them. I'm not a mallard purist. I love my summer ducks. Now, for those who don't know, a summer duck, most people call them a wood duck. Duckmaster Outdoors, you got a wood duck or a summer duck on your page. And by the way, I just subscribed to you before I came on here, so just to let you know that. But or supporting you. I'm sorry, I'm supporting you. There we go.
There you go. You're supporting.
Yeah,
I like that.
But as far as shooting, it's coming up in September. Blue-winged teal are my favorite duck to hunt. They're my favorite duck to hunt. They're my favorite duck to shoot. And in my opinion, they're my favorite duck to eat.
Now, do you have green-winged teal down there?
Yeah, we get them. We get blue-wing, green-wing. The only puddle duck we do not get would be a cinnamon teal. Okay. And that's because they're out west. I heard a guy tell me a story a couple days ago. He shot a cinnamon teal in Mississippi, but he didn't realize it was a cinnamon teal hen, and he didn't realize it until he took a better look. But she got lost. That's all I say, because they're a West Coast duck.
Uh-huh. Hey, Mo
yeah.
Homesteading, thanks for stopping in. We're taking a look, of course, this week to Daddy Duck 365. His name's Matt, and we got him up here on panel, so we're doing something a little bit different. What's kind of cool is we're seeing all the duck hunters and stuff coming out here, right? We got Duckmaster Outdoors in here. We got Midwest Duck Slayer in here. And, of course, we got everybody else that doesn't mind talking duck. So the teal hunting, I found that you better have some good barrel swing on some teal.
You can, yeah, they're a fast little bird, but they're actually not that fast. The canvasback duck is the fastest duck out there, but he's so big that he looks like he's flying slower. A teal is just so small that it's like a dove. If anybody's ever been on a dove shoot, doves really don't fly that fast. They're just a little erratic, and same thing with teal. But we get them in close and we smack them. I'm counting the days. I did over this past week after work. I worked over 40 something hours this week and was still able to get about 7 videos done over this week, which will be coming out later. But I'm coming out with a teal decoy spread, what I use all the time, and a lot of good information coming up on teal hunting. So that's where I'm at.
That's cool. So let's get off this cooking subject, because we're probably making everybody hungry out here.
I just ate, so I don't care.
I'm good too. My wife just made me some. I can't even think of the sandwich now. Reuben's. She made us some Reuben's for supper. So, do you hunt Canadian goose at all?
I'm not we don't get a lot of Canada's in during the season. We have an early season, a residential season. As a matter of fact, in the area that I hunt, the Canada goose is off limits during the regular season. So you're either hunting them in September, and I just don't want to lug those big Canada goose spreads, and I hunt over water. So I mean, I will if somebody's got some, and I got layout blinds and I have goose decoys, but I'll hunt them. But I'm more of a duck hunter. I'd rather shoot ducks. But to me, there's just nothing like it.
That's cool. So Mo Homesteading, yes, I got a little bit of sun today and yesterday afternoon. I started a new project. I got a shed build that I'm going to be doing. I'm trying to actually. They're made by Lifetime. The shed, it's a plastic shed. But I was hoping once I get it put up, I'm going to stud it out on the inside so it doesn't, it can withstand the harsh winds and stuff we get up here in Northwest Pennsylvania. Sassy Sandy in the house. Thanks for stopping in. As you guys know, we've been trying to get Sassy Sandy to her watch hours. So if you guys don't have Sassy Sandy, pick her channel up as well. Cake decorator. She's got some neat stuff on there. She does some lives, and her lives can go very long. They're fun to watch. Gets in there with her, I believe they're cousins or nieces or something like that, and they have a good time. So, guys, check out Sassy Sandy. She is in the chat there.
I see we're trappers for 100 years. You got a lot of woodies. We call them summer ducks here. I'll be coming out with a video soon, next week or two, that shows the way I hunt wood ducks. I use a call and wood duck decoys, and I have a way of setting things up. So look for that video. It's coming out, I would say, next 3 weeks maybe. But I'm working on it now.
Welcome, Sassy. Yeah. So I imagine I know ducks, of course, are all into migration and the time of year and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think his Midwest Duck Slayer said geese are late season over there where he's at. I believe he's in Indiana, if I'm correct. I may be wrong on that, but you can correct me if I'm wrong there, Duck Slayer. But I believe he's in Indiana, so he'd
I
be
think
probably. Is that the Mississippi fly zone over there, or
that'd be the central.
that's
Or that's
central?
central. You should be central flyway there.
Is that Central Flyway? Okay.
Or he could be right there on the
Oh, he's
right there on
Central
the
Illinois.
border.
Yeah, he's
So he'd be
Illinois.
central flyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't
If
know
I
much
remember
about.
my maps right.
Yeah, I don't know much about flyways, but he says he's in the Mississippi Flyway.
Okay, so you're on that side. Okay.
Yeah. So, but so let's take a look at conservation because as we all know, and everybody that's in this chat, if you're into really anything outdoors, um, there's a conservation out there. Yes, we're you're a hunting, more a duck hunting channel, so your conservations, you might be going more towards um, the conservation for habitat for ducks and all that. And then you've got the whitetails, and I mean it goes on and on. But even for those out there, just a local chapter that we have here is it's called the River Watchers, and what that is for kayakers and people that love to kayak down the stream and stuff. So of course,
Right.
there's all kinds of things happening there, washouts and stuff, trees falling down. So conservation goes far and beyond just hunting conservation, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
For this,
I'm sorry.
okay,
Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, for this, I do know, your videos are going to be geared more towards that, and I got a little bit to talk about with that. But go ahead.
Yeah. And you're a trapper, correct? I mean, you trap.
I do a little bit of everything. I trap.
I know.
My love is archery hunting, and the trapping
Okay.
is a big conservation type thing.
It is, and I think Tom. Tom, I'm sorry, I never can pronounce your name correctly, dude. Everything outdoors.
Tom Keltich.
Keltridge. That's yeah. Me and Tom we're Facebook friends, by the way. But
Yeah.
he's a trapper, and even the trapping, it helps duck production, wild turkey production, predator control is a big thing. I just don't trap. Never really got into it, that kind of thing. But the other stuff, wood duck boxes, mallard hen homes, mallard hen nesting platforms, replanting of natural foods is one of my big things. I used to have some private property where I could hunt, and we would plant natural stuff plus some supplemental stuff, like rice. I think rice and Japanese millet. They're pretty good. I do have issues with some other things as far as the grain crops go, but it's how it's done. Even though it's lawful, it's just how it's done that gets to me. I think you're smiling, so I think you saw that video. I kind of got a little.
That's where I was kind of going to.
Yeah.
There's actually two things you've mentioned and that was one of them. Before we get too far into that, though, let's talk about the conservation that you do with. Let me see. It's Sandy Cooper Aquatic Management Team. So
yes.
I'm sure that's local to you.
That is very local. Yeah.
That you guys go out now. You guys are getting invaded by an aquatic. I guess it'd be a plant, and it's called giant Sylvania. Correct.
Correct. Yes. Giant Sylvania it's from Brazil, and what has happened is people get these aquariums, and you have the floating vegetation on top of your aquarium. That's generally giant Sylvania, and then people's fish die and they go and they pour it down the drain. Well, it goes through all systems, and then it just starts to spread. Texas, Louisiana, and Florida have been hit real hard. And I would say in the last 5 to 8 years, maybe, we started seeing it. I didn't know what it was. I had no clue to what it was. None. And one of my favorite duck holes now is completely covered up in it. You can only get in there by a mud boat. I have a Go Devil. I've mentioned that 1,000 times. And they're not a sponsor. I wish they would be, but they're not.
Right.
But you know, it's the only way you can get in there. And a lot of these places, they can't even get their airboats into it to spray. So we have to go in there and manually put the chemical out. And that's what I was doing
with Sanity Aquatics. I see Trapper J made it in here. We just done talking a little bit. We're talking about conservation right now with what Matt's getting into. But Trapper J, we were even mentioning about all the other conservations out there, and he even talked about how trapping. You know, by trapping and stuff, we help out other wildlife. You know, like the turkey and even ducks and stuff like that. Bass and Binks is asking if duckweed is invasive.
Okay. If you're talking about pond sago, which is a duckweed, it is an invasive, but it is not a bad invasive. Ducks love it. Absolutely love it. If you have a small pond at your house, or that you like to fish in, it can become problematic for your fishing. It won't kill the fish. It just, you get your lures and stuff hung up in it.
Right.
But I love pond sago. The ducks, the diving ducks will eat the tubers. Some puddle ducks will eat the tubers, and they produce a seed every fall that the ducks absolutely love. And so you want that. Plus, that pond sago attracts small fish, small minnows, crustaceans, and vertebrates, which is essential to duck production in the spring and summer. The females need it for a good egg lay, and then the ducklings need it so they can grow. So it's a very beneficial plant, but it can be invasive.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's very hard on your pond pumps. Yeah, Trapper J. Yeah. I can imagine. Really. If you got some, you want to harvest it and send it to me, I appreciate
it. Yeah. So, you got, I think there's, trying to think, I think there's about 5 videos, that you guys are talking and dealing with the giant Sylvania and how, you got those people, from the Sanity Cooper, can't remember their names. I was trying to remember their names.
There's the female is Casey.
Casey.
That was the female that was there. Really nice person. Judson. He was the taller guy with the glasses. And then I had Carl. He came on the last time we went after giant Sylvania. And there's been some others where it was in another video that we were actually planting some stuff, but and I can't remember their names right now. So
right.
It's in my video, but I can't remember their names.
No, that's fine. I was just figuring I'd kind of throw their names out there. So trying to see who all's in the chat here. I think I've been keeping up on everybody that's coming in. I've been mentioning their names at least. Guys, I really appreciate you coming in here. Let's please support Daddy Duck 365. Seems like if you like anything about duck hunting, something that I didn't do, Matt, and I want to read this because it's your let me see here. It's your about page. And I think this has a lot to say. And just watching your videos, I can see that passion, for duck hunting and anything about duck hunting.
Yeah.
And I think you hit it so perfect in your about. You say duck hunting is not a passion. It is not an obsession. So of course, but we see that in you. We see that passion, that obsession. But hunting duck hunting, it's more a lifestyle, 365 days. And I
Correct.
think where that comes in is you can have the passion and the obsession to duck hunt, but it's a lifestyle when it's out of season and that's all you're doing and everything that you do is duck hunting. Right.
It is.
So that's where the lifestyle comes in. And so it's and you say right here, Daddy Duck 365 is all about duck hunting, from conservation, preparation, tips and tactics, and the actual hunt itself, 365 days a year. So you're at 3546 on your views. I just see that. And we're up to I see 132 supporters. So that's always nice to see. You know, we're in here trying to help other channels connect with your channel and support you. Mark Larson, thanks for stopping in. If I missed you already, I apologize, as well as oh, my chat just jumped on me. So let me I saw Thomas. Is it Thomas Jordan? Yes. Thomas Jordan, thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Grant McIntosh is in the house. Hey, Grant, thanks for stopping in. This guy does a lot of worm farms and stuff like that. Got a cool channel as well. He is from South Carolina, Grant. So he's on the eastern coast, a little bit south of Pennsylvania, though.
Just a tad bit.
Just a tad.
We came up there and rabble roused a little bit a long time ago, but I think that's all over with now. But on that point that you said, I had 132, which just shocked me, to be quite honest. Mm-hmm. I have a video out. I don't know if you were going to talk about it or not, but I just posted yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I do have a giveaway going on. So guys that just subscribed, y'all are in it. Just follow the instructions. I don't know if I can say what. Can I tell them what it is, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I that might be one that I have not seen because I don't have it written down here.
Okay, here's a lanyard that Flatwood Lanyards made. Okay. It's a three drop lanyard. Okay. It's custom made. Here is a duck tote, and we got a storm coming, so if I lose you, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
But I got a custom made duck strap, which is matches, and I don't know if y'all can see this, but a red Make Ducks Migrate Again ball cap.
Migrate Again, which goes back to the video we're going to talk about.
That's right. So all of these items that I just showed you are in the giveaway. Awesome. One person. Awesome. All you have to do is thumbs up, comment 365 giveaway, and I'll tally it up. I think it's going to be July 6th is when I'm going to go live. That's why I got StreamYard. Because I'm gonna start doing live shows on Monday night at 8. So I'll be doing one tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We talk about anything. I don't care. It doesn't have to be about ducks. I'm gonna do a kind of outdoor kind of chat. If you want to talk ducks, we talk ducks. But that's what I'm gonna put on. That's the giveaway. Those 3 items, and I'm gonna draw on July 6th.
July 6th during your live stream?
Doing a live stream on July 6th. It's a Monday. It's a Monday night. And, hey, guys, there's no football. There's no baseball. There's no NASCAR. Come on. Let's get into some live chats. So,
yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to draw it out of a hat. And you can, on that video, you can, there's in my description, I have my email in there, which is daddyduck365@gmail. And once I pick the winner, I'm going to announce it. You have 3 days to get in touch with me. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If I don't hear from you by Friday, I'm drawing another name. And I'm going to put it on there. So and I'll do another live chat that night. All right, nobody claimed it. Here we go. So
Right.
just keep going. But I originally was doing this for my 100th subscriber when I hit 100. And before the stuff got to me, I had like 122.
You're already
now
there.
I've got 132 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
hey, that's awesome. Looks like an awesome giveaway as well. Especially any of you guys that would be able to put that to use. That'd be great. I unfortunately got put on the afternoon, so I will not be able to see your evening lives during the week. But
okay,
I will support it, and I'll watch your. I like watching replay on lives. Now, of course, if you're live for an hour or two, I don't watch an hour or two of the live, but I do get in there and I'll watch part of the live, and usually I comment on people's lives too that I've and I'll maybe mention something that was in the live, so it's not just like, oh yeah, how much of the live did you watch, right? So
right.
I am a supporter. I want to take this time. We got 20 people in this chat. I just posted the link to Daddy Duck's channel. Anybody in here that doesn't have him, please, guys, go over there, check out his channel. But as always, and I preach this, you've got to be a supporter. So before you hit that red button, watch one of his videos, like that video, you comment, genuine comment, and then only if that's the content that you like, that's when you subscribe. That's how we become a knitted community. That's how we support one another, and that's how ultimately all our channels will grow. So I want to make sure I mention that. I do want at this time also talk about how you get showcased in Boxy Live. And how you do that is be the first one to comment at 8 p.m. Every Sunday night. I go live. If you're the first person to comment in my chat, you're the next channel to be showcased. So Thunder Ridge TV tonight was the first one. So next Sunday I'll be taking a look at Thunder Ridge TV. So I appreciate everybody that comes in here. We got some new faces in here, which is always welcome each and every one of you. Duckmaster Outdoors, Thomas Jordan. Duck Masters. I know you've posted your age and stuff, so you're a young fella that us older folks. We're hoping that you have this passion, this drive, and that you continue this type of outdoor love. And I guess keep it going. Keep the tradition alive. I guess. The other thing I want to talk about is my giveaway. I'm waiting on my shirts. I did talk with These Beyond Blessed. I think Monday or Tuesday I'll be getting my shirt in. That shirt says share your passion. And then it has hunting, fishing, homesteading, trapping, cooking. And then, of course, it has not only D's Beyond Blessed, but it has my channel name on it. I have showed that in the past. Let me see. I'll try and get it here real quick. But when I hit 2,000 hours is when we're going to give that away. I'm assuming it's going to happen after this live stream or the next one. So I as well am going to be giving that giveaway out during my live. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to find my gallery here. Here we go. I don't know if I can get you guys to see this or not. So that's the T-shirt that one of the T-shirt, and I am working on a turkey call. Unfortunately, turkey season is over and gone with. But share your passion: fishing, hunting, farmsteading, homesteading, trapping, cooking. And then I had Dee's put her channel name on there as well as mine, Boxy Outdoors. So I kind of, as you know, I'm all about. Everybody has their own passion. I know Obviously yours is a lifestyle, I know, but your passion is ducks. You
It
know,
is. Yeah.
believe it or not, my passion is archery hunting, but it is so hard when sitting in a tree self-filming. If I had someone to film me, it'd probably be a little bit different, and I'd probably have more. I'm trying to figure that.
It
How can I make videos without what I mean, the action that everybody wants? Because sometimes I can sit in the woods and never see a deer, but the things that I see, I mean, just whether it's a chipmunk just running across a log
right.
playing around, or
I,
watching that hawk come down and get that chipmunk. Um,
I
so
film with the there we go. I film with this camera most of the time. It's a handheld camera.
yep,
Sometimes I put it on a tripod. I do have some action type cameras. It's not a GoPro. It's the cheaper version. I've set those up. It's tough. I've sat in deer stands and had a young fawn or a yearling, and she came out, and I filmed her for an hour, and then turned to my left, and there was a huge buck sitting there, and I didn't want to stop filming her. I just kept
right,
filming her, and I just looked over and said, "Well, okay." So
right,
yeah, so self filming is, and a lot of people don't get it how hard that is when you self film.
right.
It is tough, real tough.
Yeah, Grant
Um,
Grant Grant McIntosh talking about the Tacticam bow. Yeah, I actually looked into possibly getting one of those as well. I did get I did get a GoPro. I got a 7 Black, so I'm hoping maybe I can do it on a chest mount. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Probably more a head mount during archery, but I was looking into the Tacticams. Um, if you guys happen to watch my turkey hunting this year, I did get a turkey. I got it on film, but I also realized that and I talk about it even before I went in hunting. My intro, I talk about this area that I'm going to that I actually hunted this bird, and he's been in this area. And I did it 2 years in a row, and he skirted me, and I think after I shot this bird, not only is it my first harvest on film, self filming, but I realized that I think this is the same bird that I've been hunting. This would now have been the 3rd year that I hunted it. And my emotions got the better of me. I will not lie, but, and a lot of people talk about, how excited and the adrenaline was running. And that's so true. But that's why I'm out there doing it. And I wanted to bring that. And even though I was like, I can't believe how bad I was shaking. I mean, it's a turkey, it's a bird. But I think everything came together at that moment, and then in my mind, I was like, "Wow," So
oh yeah, I filmed some for y'all. I think where you're at, you're not going to see these ducks, but they're called black-bellied whistling ducks.
mm-hmm.
And South Carolina is on the East Coast on the Atlantic Flyway. We are the breeding area where they don't go any farther north than us. And when they winter in Florida, Cuba, down in Argentina, and the rest of it. But I was filming the other day in this it's what we call a slash water pond. It just fills up with water when it rains heavy. And I had a breeding pair, and you should have seen me. I was literally crawling through the water in waders and shaking like a leaf. I'll have that video come out soon as well.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
just 2 little ducks that just had me just because it. Yeah, I feel your pain. I got you. I had to do the intro and the outro. I think like 5 times before I could get it where I was calm enough.
Right?
Yeah, and I didn't even shoot. I was just filming. So yeah, I know what you're saying.
Tom Keldridge is saying it's buck fever in the turkey woods. Turkey woods. So yeah, I saw Grant also said the Tacticam's great for duck hunting. I imagine you can strap that right to your gun barrel, so you'd get actually
Shot cam.
that view.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I would love to get a shot cam. It's on a list.
Yeah.
Some other things are taking priority right now, but I'd love to get another GoPro. I had one and it got tore up, and I ended up buying these small knockoffs, these little action camera knockoffs that they overheat in 3 to 5 minutes. They're overheated and they just shut down. Yeah, it's terrible. But I do have some guys that I hunt with, and they all have like GoPros and stuff.
Right.
So when I got all the guys with me, we have cameras everywhere. And then at the end of the day, they hand me all their SD cards, and I just hand them their new SD cards right then, and then we just keep switching. And that's how we're planning it right now. So
that's cool. So Duck Master Outdoors is talking about trumpeter swans if you see them during duck hunting. So when I went that time, it was a season, so I duck hunted and I did goose hunt with those buddies of mine, and they kept telling me, they kept warning me about these trumpeter swans. They said, do not shoot them. They're protected and da-da-da-da-da. And so they basically told me it almost if you really look at it, it looks like a goose kind of flying backwards, I guess, is how they explained it to me. But so we were actually hunting. We had a couple flocks come in. We did some shooting. And so we had I think there was 2 trumpeter swans that had come over to the right. And thankfully, they were so far right of me that I would not have pulled up to shoot because I had other hunters over there. But I heard one of the gentlemen say, trumpeter, so he was warning the guys that we hunt with, don't shoot, That thing flies over us, goes over this little island that we're on, and all we hear is boom, 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 boom. And needless to say, I think they missed, but who knows? I was not going to go on the other side to find out. I didn't want to be a witness.
We've had some we get a handful of swans that come down the Atlantic Flyway to as far south as South Carolina. They get a lot of them up in North Carolina where they actually have a season, but we don't. A couple of years ago, some boys had some and they shot them. Of course, they got charged. They got caught.
Yeah, gotcha.
They got caught, and they killed 5 of them. And I've been watching these swans come in to this area for, I don't know, 20, 30 years. Now, I'm quite sure it's not the same ones, okay, but I've been watching swans come into that area.
Right.
And, so know what you're shooting at, guys. Duck identification, goose identification is imperative. And it's another part of my conservation. I don't know if you saw the video I did where somebody threw some ducks away, but I got fired up over that one. I think it was like the second video I ever did. My wife and daughter watched it, and my son watched it, and my daughter called up and said, "Daddy, I've seen you mad, but I ain't never seen you that mad." And I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "I'm so sorry," but I had to make a point. I had to make a point, and it's let's see, Midwest Duck Slayer. Pay attention, not everything that flies that dies. That's correct. During the early teal season, we have a lot of summer ducks, or what a lot of people call wood ducks, and they mistake them for teal. Well, it's just teal season, and that's why we have to wait until sunrise to shoot teal during the early teal season. Because people can't, they got these, and no offense to anybody out here, but they're mostly are younger guys that hunt, and they don't know what they're shooting at. And I'm not saying that all of them are that way. I'm just saying they don't have the proper education in duck hunting, and that's another thing of what I'm trying to do. And if you'll see me duck hunting this year, I'm not hunting with anybody of my age. Because the guys at my age either quit duck hunting or they go somewhere else. They don't hunt around here anymore. And I'm trying to teach the younger generation, the right way to do things, the right way or wrong way. And I'm trying to teach them that. And that's and that's another reason why I started this channel.
Yeah. I can see that. we kind of got a little bit off track on my list here, but this is great. So I'm kind of really digging the panel, and this is how I wanted to kind of showcase channels as soon as I found StreamYard. Is to bring, if the person, would like to come up here. I know you contacted me right away and said, "Hey, I want to come up on panel," and
Yeah.
and I was like, "Hey, here we go. We're gonna do this." And Aska the rapper from India is in here. So hello to you. Thanks for stopping in. If you like duck hunting, this is the place. Get over to Daddy Duck 365. We got some links going. Make sure you grab onto his link. So the other thing, so the conservation part of it, you had 5 videos about the aquatics and stuff. The giant Sylvania. Then another one that another video that you have in this playlist was does membership really matter?
Yes.
And I found that that kind of ties into the whole thing of conservation, and you don't have to be an active member to help. And I think you kind of explained that. There's several people that don't really have the time. Hi, Coon Hunters, thanks for stopping in. Don't know how long you were in here. Ramsey Country, I see he's in here as well. I appreciate all you guys coming in here. We're talking to Matt from Daddy Duck 365. Guys, get over there and check his channel out. He's all about ducks 365. We're talking a little bit about the conservation. We've already talked about the product reviews, which he is giving away.
The call lanyard.
The call lanyard, the duck hauler, I guess you call it.
Duck strap.
And the hat that says
a hat like this.
Make ducks migrate again. So you kind of talk about, you got your big national I don't know
organizations.
Yeah. Like Ducks Unlimited, you mentioned Delta. But it's kind of you start to talk a little bit about the state organizations or your local organizations, and yes. The little things that they help out with, and I know you were talking more on the lines of duck conservation and stuff. However, you do mention about the other organizations, and a little bit earlier we were talking about trapping and stuff like that. So I am a member of the Trappers Association here in Pennsylvania. I'm in Unit 1, so which is kind of like Erie County and stuff. So a lot of people know where Erie is in Pennsylvania. So that's kind of the chapter that I belong to. Not an active member, but I am a member. And I do believe what you had to say in this video. And that's why I want people, I watched the video. I want everybody in this chat to, to see these type of videos. And I think you explain it a lot better than I'm talking about right now. So I'm probably not doing it justice. But I guess what I'm saying is talk about the numbers. And yes, I might not be an active member, but I support their direction.
Their goals.
Yeah. So when they go to this area, or whether they go to the state legislators or whatever that they got to do to get these goals obtained, and they sit there and they say, hey, we have 6,000 members here that say that this is an issue and that we want to take at least take a look at this issue, and let's try and get it resolved, or get bills passed, or laws changed, or implemented. So you really, when you spoke about that, you really brought out that numbers do matter, and your month or your yearly dues to that organization, whether you're active or not, does help, and it does matter.
It does. Yeah. The organization you're talking about this is a local thing here in South Carolina. It's called the Carolina Wildlife Syndicate. I came across them on Facebook when I started all this, and I got in touch with the the guy that helped start it, and another member who had passed away just happened. I didn't know he was a member, but he had passed away. He was a good friend of mine, and we got to talking. I said, "Hey, this is something I want to do." And some of my earlier videos where I had a pretty long intro, which I thought was cool, but I had some of my subscribers say, "Hey, it's just getting monotonous," so I took it out. But it actually mentions that Carolina, in association with Carolina Wildlife Syndicate, and that membership does matter. I mean, it really does. Whether you're local, whether it's a grassroots organization or national organization. For instance, we were having some issues on our lake system, on two of our lake systems, Lake Marion, Lake Moultrie, and everybody got together and said, "Hey, this needs to be taken care of." And we took it to one of our state reps, and they took it up and got it taken care of. Why? Because there was 6,000 people signed that petition that said, "Hey, we got to take care of this." That organization has grown, I think, well over 7,000. Excuse me, well over 7,000 now, and they're constantly talking issues, and not just for waterfowl, for everything, whether it's turkeys, deer, even raccoons and possums, quail. We've lost a lot of our natural bobwhite quail habitat to burning, control burns. And this organization is a grassroots organization, and that membership matters because everybody's on the same page. We don't care what it is in conservation. We just want it taken care of. And we can take that number and go to our elected officials, and it gets, not all the time, and sometimes compromises have to be made, but you have 2 people going up, nothing. You have 6,000 people going up, you're going to have something.
Right. At least you're going to get the attention, and maybe, an ear will listen. You know what I mean?
Oh, and by the way, guys, I am drinking dirty water. I think that's what Boxy calls it, but we call it sweet tea. So anyway,
you're drinking sweet tea.
I'm drinking sweet tea. Yeah,
that's altered. That's altered dirty water. I don't call it dirty water, but everybody talks about because I drink unsweetened tea, and all that is dirty water. Judith Davis, I believe, is the one that started the whole dirty water things. Judith, if you're still in this chat, I got to give her all the props to the dirty water. So I'm outside, so I wanted to make sure I was keeping it cool. But yeah. So one thing. So talking about dirty water and the iced tea thing. Another thing, and I have it marked down here in my notes and stuff, but I'll talk about it now. I did notice one of your videos you talked about. It was to teach kids how to hunt and fish.
Yeah.
In that video, you talk about taking them out fishing, and you mentioned a certain fish that everybody was in one of the lives. I believe it was on Illegal Outdoorsman's live. We were talking about how you pronounce crappie. You say crappie.
We say well, we used to call it goggle eye many years ago.
Okay,
goggle eye. That's
Okay, so that's even another name. I know that Shiner guy. He calls them specks.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that way, that takes out the crappie crappie dilemma. But yeah, I noticed you said crappie, so I picked up on that real quick. I call them crappie.
I'll tell you a funny story real quick. Again, my dad is an outdoor writer, and when I was a kid, I don't know, 9, maybe 10 years old, he came running into the house. He said, "Son, get your stuff. We got to go fishing." And I said, "What's going on?" So they have introduced a new fish into our lakes, and we got to go catch them. Okay. So we went down to the lake, got our boat, went down to the lake, and we're fishing, and we're catching what they're saying that, what this new article was saying. We're catching this fish, and we're looking at each other going, we've had this fish for years. What's so new about it?
Mm-hmm.
We called them goggle eye, and they came out with this new term, crappie or crappie. I guess that depends on where you're from. Right. But and so and like I call wood duck summer ducks. It's and I have to stop myself every time I do a video about summer ducks. I have to stop myself and go, some of y'all may call them wood ducks. I don't want to get anybody confused.
So okay, I'm going to turn my page here because you have one here that's says summer duck calls. So I'm assuming
summer duck calls. That is a wood duck call. Yes, that is a wood duck call. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I have to. I catch myself all the time.
Okay, so
paper mouth.
Judith calls them paper mouth, speckled perch,
sockeye. Judith? Where are you from?
I know she's from a southern.
I haven't heard sockeye in a long time. Got to be from Georgia. It has to be Georgia or either Florida. If she's from South Carolina, I want to high five.
Sandy, nice to see you back. White Bone Outdoors,
Mississippi. Okay,
Mississippi.
So you use oh shoot, I forgot the name of that reel that they use. Oh gosh, I can't even remember. So it's almost like a bush line reel. Maybe she'll say it in a little bit, but it's a cool little reel that they have. I know in Mississippi and Arkansas they use them a lot. And it's just a little reel goes on a rod or a bush line reel, and that's what they use to catch crappie or sockeye. So,
Bandem.
That's it.
Like I said, Judith Davis, she's got it all. She knows if she doesn't have a tip or a trick, she has the knowledge to or the information that we need. Ramsey Country saying slab slayer. Trappers for 100 years saying hi to Judith.
Duck Master Outdoors is asking me. I love this. Ask Daddy. Ask Daddy who's ever shot a banded duck. Hang on a second.
All right, so he's gonna go show us his bands. I'm sure he's shot one or two in his life.
I didn't know I needed props today. Here's some bands here. Bands here. And those are the only ones I have on my lanyard right now. So yeah, I've shot quite a few.
Yep, that's the hardware. Always nice to see. All right, man. I did see you took care of a couple of trolls for me in the meantime. I do appreciate that. I'm sure the one from India was probably one of them. Duck Master says he's going to take that one as a yes.
Yeah, I've got some bands that I have not even put on my lanyard. But for Duck Master, I just want to let you know, I actually hunted for all you duck hunters out there. I've actually hunted with Phil Robinson of the Duck Commander crew, and I shot a banded mallard out of his big blind, and I have that put up. I'm just letting you know. I have that one put up, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Whitebone saying that he can't see us, but he can hear us. Anybody else having any problems? I know I'm outside and it's getting dark, so I actually have a light on and it's kind of blinding me, but I hope everything's going good. Oh, you can see now? Okay, that's good.
Let's see. I believe someone asked if I've seen a yellow neck band on geese. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I've actually shot some geese out west on a Canada hunt and on a snow goose hunt, and we shot neck bands that day. So, and have I ever blown the wrong end of a duck call? Yeah, I've done it. Yeah, I've done it.
That's
hey,
cool.
Duckmaster, thank you, man. And appreciate meeting you, man. I think he says he's going to head out. So take care of yourself, brother. Get in touch with me.
Yeah, guys, get over there, check his channel out. He does have Facebook as well. If you go in his About section, you can click on that and get over to his Facebook page as well. I really appreciate everybody coming in here. Duckmaster Outdoors, thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate that. Guys, check out Duckmasters Outdoors. Young gentleman, he's 14 years old. He's been hunting since he's been about 2 or 3. So in the title of his channel, you can tell he is probably a lifestyle is duck hunting. So check him out as well. Okay, so now I know. So I go usually about 2 hours. So I'm not sure how long this is gonna take for us, but it's the video that you said, food for thought. It's one that I've been preluding to. We've made a little bit of comments and we've kind of stopped a little bit short. But it is flooding unharvested cornfields and how that affects the natural migration of ducks.
There have been some studies, and as studies go, you have one side and you have another side. It's like anything else. But I can tell you from personal experience and watching duck migrations that they're being short-stopped. And a lot of people don't realize, that a lot of people don't understand there's 4 major flyways, but ducks don't always stay in those flyways. We have what's known as crossovers, and they'll cross over Atlantic flyway into the Mississippi and into the central, and from the Pacific into the central, into the Mississippi, into the Atlantic. We get a lot of our mallards from your area, actually. That's where they come from. Our ducks, our mallard ducks come from where you're at. That's why I like trappers up there, because y'all are taking care of the predators for me. Mm-hmm. But these are huge. If it was one field, that would be one thing. But everybody who's got a piece of property, and I'm not knocking down private property owners at all. Please don't think I am. But they will grow corn and then flood it. And if there's any farmers out here, everyone knows that is not a normal agricultural process. You don't grow corn and flood it. You can with rice, but and they don't harvest these cornfields. They'll leave them up. And as long as a duck has food, water, and rest, he ain't going nowhere. Mm-hmm. That's all he needs. And I've seen flooded cornfields, flooded, unharvested cornfields, frozen over, and have thousands and thousands of ducks reaching up and picking the corn off. And you say, well, they got to have open water. Well, a duck can fly. It's not like he walks everywhere. He can fly. So he can fly 50 to 100 miles to get water. On that note, there was a radio transmitter put on a mallard hen in my nearest refuge. And she flew from our refuge in South Carolina all the way to Louisiana and fed, and then turned around and came back that night. So flying, they can find open water. But these ice eaters that they've got and these unharvested grain fields, they just shortstop the ducks, and you don't get the natural migration. I mean, that's that's the big thing. You know, I got it. You know, was it? I think it was the 1940s, right after the World War. Um, I got it in one of my videos. Swan Lake Refuge, I believe, is in Illinois. Um, they planted all this corn and they dumped corn on it, and it literally almost stopped the Canada goose migration to Louisiana.
Wow.
Just all, in a few short years, just stopped it. And, you know, and it becomes a problem. You know, that's the studies that I read. There are other studies that say that it doesn't. So who's right, who's wrong? I just have my opinions. I've seen ducks migrating more westerly in my lifetime, you know, my career of duck hunting.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina used to be a premier mallard hunting state. It was unbelievable. When I was 7, hunting the swamps here, it didn't matter about weather. We would shoot ducks 70-degree weather. It didn't matter. They were here.
Right.
So, you know, weather does play a part in a migration, but it's not the big part. The big part is food, water, and rest. And these huge tracts of land that are in the Mississippi and Central Flyways, they're only going to hunt this little piece over here. They're not going to hunt the whole thing, and they can keep and hold ducks all season long, and you just won't get ducks to migrate now. Yeah, I mean, it almost has to be a day after tomorrow Arctic blast to bring them down to hunt. And it actually, in my opinion, I'm not a biologist, don't claim to be one, not even on YouTube. It's a problem, and it's all about how the laws are written. So if there's somebody who is planting, you know, hey guys, it's your property. Do as you see fit. It's your property. But for a public duck hunter like myself, it can be problematic, you know, trying to get ducks in, because not all of us have the luxury of having our own private duck heaven. So
Right.
I hope I've gotten there, and
Yeah.
I'm trying not to upset. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we know in today's age, I mean, it's so easy to upset or offend somebody, but your opinion is your opinion, and it matters to
Yeah.
you, and everybody's has the right to their opinion. So, you know, um, as long as somebody's going by the law, unfortunately, in this instance, it's lawful to actually do that,
It
which
is.
kind of concerns me that this even got passed, because you brought up a very important part in what you said was it's not a natural farming technique.
It's not. Now,
So,
rice is. If you planted
right,
rice, you're gonna flood. After you plant rice, you flood it, and then you drain it to harvest it, and then I have no problem with flooding harvested fields back up.
right,
I've done. I had a little piece of property. We did that, but we harvested. You know, and I've got really good friends down here who do the same thing. They plant it, they harvest it, they sell it, but they flood their fields again. And you know, there was a study. It's called the Ducks. Oh shoot, Ducks Daily. Something I can't remember what I said, but it's how much a duck can eat per acre, and a harvested field, grain field, will hold 200 ducks, I believe, per acre per day.
mm-hmm,
A harvested, unharvested would hold about 2,000 ducks an acre per day.
right.
So, you know, you can keep a lot of ducks, and, you know, it's crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And I got it. It was $3,000 for a 2-day hunt. Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
they're making money. And these guys, and I have nothing against that. It's, it's called capitalism. That's what our country's based on. I got it. But do I see it as a problem? Yes, I do. So.
So on the back end of this, so now that this has been going on and it's been legalized, if they were to change the law or decide that, hey, this is not a normal farming tactic, in that this is basically this is to me it's going beyond baiting. I know, like over in Ohio, I had a buddy of mine that does food plots and stuff, and he has sunflowers around the outsiders for dove hunting and stuff like that. And you got to be very careful with how you put your food plots
Manipulate.
in. Yeah, because when you do that, so if he would cut those down right prior to dove hunting, he has now manipulated that field. It is not a natural farming tactic.
Correct.
And I know this because they got into some sticky water, which they found out that they were right, that the charges were dropped, and he was not doing anything illegal. That brings into my mindset that when you are doing things now, I understand you're allowed to put a big deer container out there and you can feed the deer, and in some states you're allowed to hunt over that. Pennsylvania, you're not. I'm only in certain areas close to Philadelphia and then Pittsburgh, but it's lawful. You can do that. But I think this goes beyond just putting out a corn feeder out there, because you're manipulating that cornfield with the water, which is now stopping an actual
Correct.
migration. It's changing migration patterns. And so like I said, I've went duck hunting. Whitebone, he mentioned that he got invited to go duck hunting. He's afraid he's going to like it's going to cost way too much money, and like anything you get into can cost you money. But for me not to even, I don't duck hunt. I've duck hunted in the past, but I see where you're going with that, and it's not just if we let this happen in the duck community and let them manipulate fields like this, where's it go next? It could come over
Correct. Yeah.
into trapping, where we know that we're in a fight for trapping. That they want to outlaw trapping everywhere. Look over in California. I feel for those people. That don't have the right to put a tradition that this country was built and founded. The trapping and the fur industry and the trading, and why would I not be interested in that? And I think you bring up a valid point. And whether your opinion is right or not, I will let you know that I support your opinion.
Well, thank you.
And I might offend people for supporting your opinion, but we know that in this community we've got to support one another, because so many times in the outdoors things can go. There's not really a hard boundary, to the outdoors as far as conservation and the laws and stuff like that. Because when one area gets affected, then if you don't support those people in that fight, you're going to find yourself one day hoping that the duck hunters are going to be helping the archers out, because you know what I'm trying to say there. But I do know in that video, and you do talk about, okay, so we're if we would stop that, what's the short term? What's the short
Exactly.
term? Because now these ducks are so used to this
Corn.
this corn, and this way of farming that is not the short term. You're gonna lose duck numbers, because they're not going to know how to feed. If this would stop, they would not. They would stop in that area and be like, "Where's all my food at?"
When I was researching all this, I was talking to a very, very good friend of mine, and I was saying, "Hey, I was telling him about what I was putting together and how I was going to word it and everything." He says, "Well, let me ask you one question, and I want you to sit back and think about it. What would happen if we stopped it right now?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, the ducks will come." He goes, "No, they'll starve to death. They've been it's almost like a welfare.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really is. And I said, now you're going to lose some in the short term, and then they'll figure it out and, and come back strong. But you have ducks that are so dependent on this, and corn is, wow. I mean, it's like gold to us.
Right.
We're going to do whatever we can to get that money, to get that gold. And ducks do the same thing with corn. And there's so much other natural foods that can be planted and produce pretty much the same thing. I know guys that like I've replanted smartweed. A lot of I've replanted that. I've replanted water shield. Replanted pond sago. I've done a lot of these things and had very, very good results with it. I mean, absolutely had better results than pouring out a bag of corn, because that's basically what you're doing. You're pouring out a bag of corn, you're just letting it grow, but it in the short term, I really feel it's gonna hurt the ducks. Now, after a few years, they'll figure it out, but it in that beginning, it's gonna be tough. It'll be malnutrition. They just don't know how to feed. They won't know what to look for anymore.
Yeah, Midwest Duck Slayer is saying you're going to lose a couple when they fly by as blind. That's a good one, Midwest. So I would love to sit here and continue to talk about conservation and this in particular. But as we know, we got to keep the show going. And there's one other playlist that I'd like to talk about before we get off of here, and that's your tip and tactics. And I believe you got 18 videos in this playlist. So as you see, if a channel has playlists, that's where I go to the playlist, and I go into each one of the playlists, and I watch as many. If there's only a couple of videos in there, I'll watch all the videos in that playlist. And there's my dog wanting back in the house.
I shut the door to my office so nobody come and bother me.
I'll see if I wanted to go outside, and as you see, it's dark. It's dark out here, and my neighbors behind me and stuff are probably thinking, "What's going on?" There's a big spotlight, and Todd's out there talking. But dogs are getting left back in. The wife will be headed to bed here shortly, which is another good thing about being outside, because I don't bother her. But so tips and tactics. There's some that I didn't get to watch, of course, and I didn't watch a lot of the ones. I know you talked about you had a Waterfowl Wednesday, and you did like Cadwell calls, teal calls, pintail and widgeon calls, the summer duck calls, or for some of us, wood duck calls, mallard call, the quack, and then mallard call, the feed chuckle. So yeah. I wanted to I knew you were going to be on panel tonight. So even though I didn't watch those, just tell a little bit, kind of highlight what somebody would see if they come to your channel and get in one of these videos. Are you explaining how to make the call or do the call?
On the Gadwall call, the summer duck call, the teal call, and pintail and widgeon whistles, I didn't really go into it that hard. The mallard calls I am going into. I have 3 more videos that'll be out every Wednesday, I think, for the next 4 weeks, starting this Wednesday, 4 more weeks of just mallard calls. Mm-hmm. And I went into it where I can't do this without something in my hand, so forgive me. But and by the way, it's one of my favorite calls, and it's actually one I used. But how to place the call, to your mouth, how to hold the call, and what you're going to be blowing into it, and how I hold my tongue to make these sounds when I'm pushing this air up through my diaphragm and then out. Right. I do go into that with the mallard calls. The other ones, I don't know why I didn't go into it that deep. It was hot outside, and I was out in the sun, and it was like, oh God, I got to get this thing over with. But I plan on revising those calling during the hunting season when it actually comes back in. But
Absolutely.
yeah, you're going to hear the sounds that the ducks make. I know a lot of duck hunters throughout the country are mallard aficionados. All they blow is a mallard call. That's all they blow. But if you have different decoy species in your set, in your spread, to make it sound natural, you need these sounds. You need the duck sounds. That's why a lot of duck hunters, they'll hunt with 3-4 people, and you can one guy's running a mallard call while the other ones are running, the other calls. And because ducks are always talking, they're on the water, they're talking, they're whistling, they're chuckling, whatever they're doing, and whatever sounds they make, they're going to be doing it.
Right.
And if you're imitating those sounds, it just puts a confidence builder. Hey, this is a pretty safe place. Let me come down here and check it out. So, but yeah, as far as the mallard calls, I'm going into more detail with those. The other ones I should have, but I didn't go into detail as hard as I should have.
Gotcha.
I will say that was my mistake.
Yeah. No, hey, and your videos and your channel is going to get better in time as you do it.
I hope so.
You're trust me. I look back on a couple of my first videos and stuff that I did, and you start getting a little bit better at filming. You get a little bit better at what coming across with. A little bit better at editing and stuff like that. Real quick, I do want to say goodbye to Whitebone. Thanks for stopping in here. I really appreciate it. I'm not sure if everyone's still in here. I know Rattletrap Fishing had stopped in here. He's probably not in here now. He's probably over at that Shiner guys. He went live at 9 o'clock. Michael Bennett or Bryant, Michael Bryant was in here. I do want to make sure I mention your name. So I saw him in here, as well as Bo Daniels is in here now. He's been pulling weeds in his garden. He actually lives just north of me, about halfway to Erie, Pennsylvania. So somebody asked me if I don't have any mosquitoes here, because as you see, it doesn't seem like I'm getting bitten and stuff. And so what you guys don't see, and I just blinded myself, but I have a light right there that I have out here so you guys can actually see me. You don't see all the bugs that are around it, but I also turned on my outside light. So I was hoping most bugs were used to that outside light. So they're all over there. I don't know if you saw that one flying around my head here. So yes, they are out, and there he goes again. But I'm not getting bit up. So like I said, I just come in from outside before I did this, and I was sweating and stuff. So maybe the stink is pushing off the mosquitoes. So that's good. But so some of the ones that I did watch was the oops, drop my gun in the mud. So anybody that hunts, has probably had this happen to them a time or two. But you kind of show you actually take along a little push rod type cleaning pouch, and basically you kind of fill, take the gun apart right in the field and get that mud out of there.
Right.
We know you, especially if you're going to continue to hunt with that shotgun, you're going to want to clean that all out and make sure that it's good to go, because we know what happens when you got a plugged barrel.
Yeah, you'll bust a barrel in a heartbeat. That we were that actually. I mean, that a lot of people asked me if that was staged, and I said I have a 16 gauge Belgian Browning. If you think I'm going to shove it in the mud, you're crazy.
Just to show you a video.
Just to show you on a video. I don't know if you saw the yellow lab, my yellow lab that I have, but she was sitting on one side of the tree. I had the gun propped up in the tree, and we were fixing to leave, and a flock of ducks swung in. I grabbed a call. We didn't have no cameras rolling because we were fixing to back up. I hit the call one time, and they just kept going. They did not want anything to do with us. And as I was moving, my elbow bumped my shotgun, and I didn't even know it. and I turned around to get my gun, and it was gone. And I said, "Oh crap!" And I'm in, waist deep water. I'm 5'8", so I fished around with my boot. I found it. I pulled it up, and I said, the guys that were with me, I said, "Turn the camera on." I said, "It's an opportunity. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And I keep a toolbox in my boat. I actually have a video out there, if you've seen it, on some gear that I kind of keep in my boat at all times. And one of them's a toolbox, and I keep a gun rod in there. Because I've done this before. This is not the first. That was not the first time I've dropped a gun, I can tell you.
Yeah, and that's I was going to say there was another video that I didn't watch. And it is what is in your duck boat. So I'm assuming that's the video that you're referring to.
Yeah, correct.
So Sassy Sandy, she of course said that the mosquitoes love her, and of course everybody's telling her because she's so sweet and that everybody loves her. And she's not giving out free samples, she says, but the mosquitoes seem to think that they are able to take that free sample. But yeah, Sassy Sandy, it's everything about sweet, right? You deal with sweet cakes and sweet treats and stuff like that. So you're going to have to deal with the mosquitoes, I guess. So maybe that's why there's none around me. Maybe they're all up there in Canada with Sassy Sandy. So Raymond Williams says he has his dad's old 16 gauge. It's a CIL single shot. Did you freeze up on me, Matt? I know you got some.
I think I did.
You did. So that's a couple nice ones. So I did talk a little bit about this earlier. I know we only have 8 people in here right now, but I mentioned you have a video that says "Teach them to hunt and fish," and you kind of talk a little bit about your children now have family and they have children,
Right.
and we're talking about this era with the coronavirus going on and stuff like that. Thanks for coming in there, Explorer. So if you haven't seen John Coffey, he's the unpaved explorer, and he's out of here. I like that about it. He does that at the end of all his videos. He's out of here. So thanks for stopping in, Unpaved Explorer. He's from the Cleveland area. Really appreciate your support. But yeah, so you were talking about this coronavirus and what these parents are going through, having to homeschool their children. Some of them still have 40-hour, jobs to do all week, come home, teach these kids, writing, arithmetic. Well, I don't know if they teach writing anymore. I heard they're doing away with cursive writing, which is totally absurd to me.
Crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, Thunder Ridge TV, thanks. Everybody that's in here, if you haven't hit that like, please hit that thumbs up. So there was a mosquito right there. Just got my first one right on my face. But you said, what would we have done, if that would have happened in, I guess, our era of raising our children. So, I have 3 myself. I have a couple grandchildren. So I saw, what it took to school them and stuff. One good thing about my grandchildren is they're in the outdoors. So they love the outdoors. So you kind of hit on this, yeah, there's a time, to teach them, but take them outdoors. When it's nice out, take them outdoors. Teach them the outdoors. I like how you mentioned, when you go out there, just walk through the woods, look for a deer print, look for a raccoon print, whatever. Find maybe an antler shed,
whatever it is, just get them outside. Yeah, I have a grandson now. He's 9. He'll be 9 months. Matter of fact, on July 6th. And so every time they come over to the house, I grab a duck call and I give it to him. And so he pretty much gnaws on it, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my kids grew up in the outdoors. My son still hunts. My daughter, she's more of an inside girl. But that's fine. That's fine. That's just how what she does, and that's cool. I love her. There's no separation of love there, but
Right.
But yeah, just take them outside. Get outside. take a walk down a walking trail, or if you've got access to a boat in a swamp, go show them things. I was out with some teenagers a couple weeks ago. We were looking for we were actually looking for a place to hunt because I scout. I mean, I'm scouting now, and I'm not really scouting for looking for ducks. I'm looking for places to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And we came across a bear track while we were out in the swamp, which was about as cool as you can get, you know.
Right.
Yeah, take your kids, get them outside, teach them to hunt, teach them to fish. You know, this era that we're going through right now, this coronavirus, if you want to believe in it, I have my own political thoughts on that. I'm not, we'll keep it at that. But yeah, they don't know. Most people don't know anything but a grocery store, and
right. So I wasn't going to cut you off, but I am now, because I was going to tell you, as soon as you said bear tracks, the first person I thought of was Thunder Ridge TV, because that's his passion. He loves bears.
Yeah.
You see, he just posted Thunder Ridge. I knew bear tracks are awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I thought that was kind of funny. In my head, I'm thinking Thunder Ridge just perked up.
Listen, Thunder Ridge. I'm going to tell you, I grew up in a swamp, and I mean, ever since I was 5 years old, I've been in the swamp. And that 2 weeks ago was the first time I ever saw a bear track in the swamp that I hunt. It was the first time. By far, it was the first time. And it was just the neatest thing in the world to me. Wow, bear track. And it was fresh, so he was close. Whoever, male or female, he was close. But, we were like, hey, I want to see this thing. I want to find him,
Yeah. Hey, Ridge Life, thanks for stopping in. We're with Matt from Daddy Duck 365. We're showcasing his channel tonight. And it's been cool. It's been a panel the whole time. We've been talking back and forth with Matt, kind of picking his brain on some things. Talked a little more, I guess mostly we talked about the conservation, which is kind of really, I think, the roots of everything. If you don't have the conservation stuff, you don't have the outdoors. You don't have the opportunities, right? Yeah. So a couple other things, you mentioned too is, there's so much to teach outdoors that you can't teach in a classroom.
Right.
When you mentioned that, I thought first thing that come to my mind was the closest thing that I was taught in a classroom in a school setting was biology. And we got to cut open a worm and a frog, and we were supposed to do a cat, which I thought would have been kind of weird, but we ended up not getting to do the cats. But I mean, that's kind of the closest thing I think that you could say was taught in a classroom that really is anything really outdoors. Get these kids outdoors when you have the opportunity, and teach them how to hunt, how to fish. Maybe it's not even hunting and fishing. Maybe it's just being a photography of the outdoors.
And even is Bushcraft still here? Is he still in here? I guess I was a mid teenager, I guess. But I had a gentleman one time teach me how to make a grass mat, out of grasses, and how to take a paracord and tie it off on sticks that you drove into the ground, and actually weave this grass to make a mat so you can have a bed to sleep on, or even make it these grass mats for a duck blind or game blind. It really didn't matter. But there's so much that's out there. I've got my library's over here. You can't see it, but I don't know if you remember the old Firefox books. Do you remember those books called Firefox?
Firefox. I'm not sure if I remember. I didn't do a whole lot of reading unless I was made to.
Well, I was a big reader growing up, as a kid, and I have 3 books. They're called Firefox 1, 2, and 3, and it is all about bushcraft. To be quite frank, it's all about it. I still read those. I'll pull one out and want to check something out and try to refresh myself on how to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So, in today's age with, with smartphones and iPads and, and computers and everything, today's kids have lost that how to read and how to get that adventure in their head. And you take that adventure from the book and then you take them out in the woods, and it kind of goes hand in hand, and that's where I really wanted, where I wanted to go with that video.
See, and that's where, and you do mention the outdoor books, and you mentioned a couple different authors, and
Robert Ruick and Gene Hill, and some of my favorite authors, including my dad. But
that's something where, as I'm older now, and sassy Sandy, you're laughing, but I do read now. But I will say I really don't read a whole lot of novels or anything like that. I'd like to read outdoor magazines. And anything with outdoors. So I'm gonna have to check into these books that you're talking about, because I think that's kind of neat how you can read that and then go to the outdoors and how that all works in together. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I have, like I said, I have a small library over here in my office, and that's where I'm at. This is my office and home office, and I mean, just all kind of stuff. And when my grandson gets old enough, my son read a lot of these books, and when my grandson, I'm gonna have him right here in this chair, and I'm gonna read him these books when he gets a little bit older.
Right. Absolutely.
To get that imagination and get that rolling in your head, and then take him out there and show him. That's the big thing.
Right. Tubby Guy says he's more of a picture book guy. Pictures in my magazines. But that's a lot of things. Of course, mine's a lot of Bow Hunter magazine. I did get American Trapper. I get that now as well. Of course, I get that with my because I am a member of the trapping organization here in Pennsylvania. So definitely, if you got an interest in something, you definitely don't have a problem reading about it, right?
Right, that's right.
There, we got a couple people. Tubby Guy said his first trip was with his dad. He had a backpack full of diapers. Sassy saying first time she went fishing with her dad was the last time. He said, I'm not taking her with me ever again. It was probably because you kept throwing it out, reeling it in, throwing it out, reeling it in. You gotta have patience, Sassy. Gotta have patience. That's what.
And speaking of that, that's another thing, is a lot of guys will lose patience with their kids, and because you're supposed to do it this way. Let them have fun. Let them go out there. Let them make the mistakes. I think my son was maybe 10, maybe 11 years old. My wife and I had gone on our anniversary weekend together, and a friend of mine took my son deer hunting, and he was in a stand. He's like 11, maybe 12 years old, and I'm in the middle of this nice romantic dinner, and my son calls me, and I freaked out. I like opened up I had a flip phone, by the way. This is how long ago it was. What's going on? He goes, Daddy, I got a doe in the corn pile. Can I shoot it? I went, yeah. I went, Josh, pow! I mean, you could hear it over the phone, and the whole restaurant turned around and looked, and I'm like, well, did you get him? Yeah, he's down. So guys, and that was his first deer, and I wasn't there, so it really hurt. I wasn't there, but he did kill his first deer. But I was on the phone with him when he did it. So
that's cool. That's cool, though. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. But have patience with your kids is the biggest thing. Let them, when it quits being fun for them, that's when you need to pack up. My son was young. He wanted to go duck hunting with me. It was going to be cold. It was like 18 degrees. I said, son, it's going to be too cold for you. I want to go. Packed up, got the boat ready, got him in the boat, dressed him. He looked like the Michelin tire baby. We drove out there, a 20-minute boat ride. We get set up. I just get the decoys out. I got about 15 minutes before it's legal shooting time. And he turns and says, I want to go home. I'm cold. I didn't get mad. I didn't get upset. I packed up the decoys and I took him home. And guys, you got to remember that, sometimes they can't handle it, but they want to go. And you got to do what you got to do as a parent, and I believe 100% in that. Take them. But when they get to that point, take them home and go do something else fun. Right. I got pictures of my son eating barbecue Vienna sausages. He was having fun. So, while we're hunting. So, things you got to do. Teach them young. Teach them how to hunt and fish.
Right. So, of course, this is where I have my little note here. And believe me, I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll see if I can get you to see this. Daddy Duck says crappy. You see how I put it in all caps? For all of you guys that are in here that knows about the crappy crappie specs, we found out from Judith Davis, paper mouth, all kinds of things. But yeah, so Tubby Guy Outdoors says absolutely Daddy Duck. And that's what it is about. You got to make it enjoyable for the children. And that's one thing I try to teach my children was patience. So usually I would always tell them, you got to give it at least another 15 minutes, and then let them sit there. And then if they were ready to go, we'd go. It only paid off one time. And it was my son, it was going for 10 o'clock in the morning. We were archery hunting. I didn't even have a bow in my hand. I had set up a 2-stand setup. And I know the deer usually would come through there about 9 o'clock. And I knew it was going to be pushing his patience, his time sitting there if we didn't see nothing before that. And I kept telling him, you got to hold out till 9 o'clock. And it was lucky that he finally, he didn't say nothing for a while until it was about 9:30. He said to me, he said, what time is it? And I was like, it's 9:30. And I knew what was coming next. And so he was ready to go. And I said, Bud, got to give it a half hour. And then we'll leave if we don't see nothing. So he's okay. So we sat there, and thankfully, a doe and her brought some yearlings through, and he shot his first deer that day, and with a bow.
Awesome.
And he did everything. He did everything right. Didn't take the deer that he wanted, but he didn't have the shot that he needed. He actually let down and repositioned himself, pulled back, and he did take one of the yearlings, but he took a ethical shot at a deer that he knew he could take, and he passed on one that he just couldn't get the right angle in the shot. So everything happened so perfect that day. I think in because he was 13 at the time. So it taught him a little bit too. Hey, the deer don't always come through when you think they're going to come through, and you might have to wait a little bit longer. So that kind of helped him in his patience a little bit, and I saw a change in him on when we were out. He didn't ask as often, can we go yet? Can we go yet? I'm ready to go. And he stays. So, but yeah. So that's kind of my little story, and trying to teach patience. And I'm more patient when I'm outdoors and I'm sitting in the whitetail woods, especially archery hunting. I could sit there for hours and not even see a deer, and I'm happy.
I guess the one of the best feelings you can get is when my son actually said it, and we were fishing, and it was just time to go. I was tired. I wanted to go home, and he looked up at me and said, "Just one more cast, Daddy. Just one more cast." And I said, "Okay." And I knew right then and there he was hooked. He was hooked on. He was hooked, and I think we stayed almost to dark, and I wanted to go home a lot sooner than that. But it was just one more cast, Daddy, just one more cast. And when you get that, that brings it all together where you've done right.
Yeah. And I don't know about your son, but my one more cast turns into probably a dozen or two.
It does.
I'm always like that. I'm like, I just got one more fish, one more cast.
One more fish.
Especially when you're catching them, you know what I mean? And then you get that little lull. And it's like, yeah, I should be going home right now. But one more cast. We'll
Just
get it
one
out.
more. Just one more.
So moving on to the next one was you did a 35-yard balloon trick.
Oh yeah,
Which I thought was cool. And this kind of goes kind of hand in foot in teaching. Not only teaching kids, but even teaching, even myself.
right.
If I would go out there duck hunting and I would hope 35 yards, to me, being in a deer stand, I look out, I can say, yeah, that's about 35 yards. But when I'm out there duck hunting and I look up into that open sky scenario, what's that duck supposed to look like to be 35 yards? Because I don't have a tree, I don't have anything to give me a yardage mark. And you use the
Right.
balloons,
I
and
use the balloons. Yeah.
and you put the
And
balloons up in.
yeah, that came about a conversation I actually had with a young duck hunter. I watched him what we call sky busting, if you're familiar with that term,
Yep.
and some of the other guys may be as well. But I said, buddy, you got to get them within 35 yards. That's an ethical shot. That's for a shotgun. That's great. And yes, guys, I got it. You have certain choke tubes that you can reach it out even farther. But for a decoying duck, 35 yards is perfect.
Right.
But we see this in YouTube a lot, and we see this in a lot of DVD hunting videos where these cameras are you can't judge the distance by the camera, and they look farther. So these guys are saying, well, if he can do it, I can do it. So I wanted to show people what 35 yards look like, and I had to use the only thing I could get was those happy birthday balloons. It was the only thing I could find. Right. And I actually showed them what 35 yards looks like. And then at the end of the show, my buddy who was helping me film, he actually shot him, and
Yeah.
I think I laughed at him because he did hit it on the first shot, but it looked like it didn't.
Yeah.
He shot another time, and I cut it out, but I said, I can't believe you missed that that balloon, But I did cut that out in the video. But yeah, showing people what 35 yards through the camera lens
looks like.
So people would look like. So don't get all wrapped up in that. Well, if they can shoot them that far out, I can't. Well, trust me. Like I said, I've hunted with Phil Robinson and that crew. We hunted for like 4 or 5 days, and trust me, their shots were within 25, 30 yards. Every one they took. It just looks so farther out because of the camera.
Yeah, I know when I went out and I hunted with my buddies, we had one gentleman. He actually kind of called the shots. You know what I mean? Everybody else held tight until he said shoot him.
Right.
And he of course was the most veteran, I guess you would say, of duck hunting. So he's the one that set up the decoys. He's the one that kind of set each and every one of us up, and he was the one that it was ultimately you waited for him, and he would call the shot. And it's funny. I'll tell you this little this little story. This was actually the very first duck hunt I was on. We were sitting on this little island, and we're sitting there, and it's just starting to get daylight, dusk, or like just starting to get daylight where you can see the birds and stuff like that, and we had 5 coming right at us, real low to the water, just coming at us, and he of course says, "All right, Boxy, you get the first shot." And I was like, "Okay." He said, "I'll tell you, shoot him. You shoot him." I was like, "Okay." And all of a sudden he says, "Shoot." Well, I can't shoot because I can't see nothing. I'm looking for these ducks. They're coming right at me. And I'm like, I don't see them. I can't see them in the sky is what I said. Because look down closer to the water. Well, I was thinking these ducks were coming in, coming in. No, they were coming very low. Well, they ended up being hooded McAnswers, a doggy duck.
Yeah.
And man, I probably shot them maybe 10 yards. They were like, "Oh, there they are." And of course, I shoot them, and it's funny because I shoot, right, and they all hit the water. Well, of course, because they're diver ducks, they all went down. They went into the water, and I heard the one buddy say, "He killed them all." And the other guy says, "Get ready, get ready." And of
Get
course,
ready.
they come up out and they went to fly, and we got a couple more of them. Now we could only
Right.
shoot one apiece. We
Yep.
did take 3 birds out of that. One was the male, and then we did get 2 females. But real pretty bird too. Those hooded mergansers.
Oh, they're a beautiful bird. They ain't fit to eat, but they're a pretty bird.
Yeah. So that's one of the ones I tried to eat, and it tasted bad. And then I got another one. I got another one that I shot, and I think they just called it a brown duck. Is there a such thing as a brown duck?
That could be a local name for something.
Yeah, so I said to the guy, I said, "Well, what's this?" I figure it was like like the hen, the
the hens are brown. Yeah,
it's brown, but he's like, "No, it's called a brown duck." I'm like, "Brown duck?" I said, "They all have nice names, not brown duck." I said,
"I don't know. That has to be a local."
But I overcooked them anyhow, so it wouldn't have been any good anyways.
Yeah.
But I want to say hi to Trey Muse. Thanks for stopping in. We're getting about ready to shut down. There was something else. Oh, there is one more thing I want to talk about that I said about earlier before we do head out. The Sassy Sandy was saying she doesn't like she didn't like touching the worms and the bugs. That's why she was screaming her dad won't take her back out. And of course they were teasing her about the worms, and then they mentioned about leeches. Of course, she's never seen a leech before. But if you don't like worms, you're not going to touch a leech. I can tell you that. So AL4N777, good evening. How are you? We're checking Matt's channel out. It's Daddy Duck 365. I really appreciate everybody coming in here. We still have 9 in the chat. So as soon as we're done here, we're going to go over to that Shiner guy's live. He'll be talking fishing. He's all about fishing. So, that's his passion.
Well, he'll like the fish behind me then.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. If he saw it, he probably saw it too. I'll have to ask him when I get over in his live. But,
let him know that fish, the one straight behind me, is 14 pounds, 13 ounces. Caught her on top water. Real quick, the story was it was opening day of turkey season, April 1st. I can't even remember the year. But the guy was going turkey hunting with me, called and said he couldn't go. So I called my dad. I said, let's go fishing. And the third cast, I threw it out there. I was fishing topwater bait. I laid the rod down to do something, picked the rod back. When I picked it up, it just bumped it, and she swallowed it whole. And I said, oh. Yeah, that is my biggest largemouth.
14 pounds, 13 ounces.
14 pounds, 13 ounces. Yeah.
Now, see, that's what I call. I don't know what a lot of people have think. I call that a slob. That's a slob of a fish.
It's like you. Yeah. When she swam by the boat, it reminded me of the movie Jaws, and you just look down and see this huge fish swim. Yeah. I caught that one, and we didn't even fish the rest of the day. We threw her in a cooler and took off. Had to drive about 20 miles into town, and stopped at an IGA, which is a grocery store down here.
Yep, we got IGA up here.
Oh, okay. We pulled into one. I said, I need a set of scales, and I'm dragging this cooler in, and they're like, no, you can't do that. I went into the meat department. I said, I got to put her on scales, and I flipped her out on scales, and she at the scales was 14 pounds, 13 ounces, and she spit a brim up. So, she was a little bit heavier, but I counted it, what those scales said. So.
Right. Cool. So Trey Muse is out doing water lines today. So one of the last things I want to talk about was, so you did duck hunting and then it's face paint. So, and why I was talking about this is, and I forget what prompted me earlier on. So this is almost 2 hours ago. You had mentioned something that made me think about this video in particular, and why I want to talk about it is because you talk about camouflage, and I know, archery hunting, everything, we try to camouflage ourselves into our surroundings.
Yeah.
And we know probably of all the creatures out there, I say the turkey is one of the by far with their hearing and their eyesight. I mean, you've got to mind your
Yeah.
surroundings and blending into it. Now, as far as duck go, so like I said, I've only been out, that one season, and I hunted with those buddies, and I should go more often, especially if they invite me, because I had a blast. And then also I won't have to put a whole cost into it. I just need a weapon,
Just
right?
go with friends.
And,
Yeah.
but they were so into face face coverings, face shields, camo. Um, I'm trying to think what it was. I had something that it was a little bit lighter, and I don't know if it was the collar on an undershirt that was like along my neckline or whatever. And like I said, the guy that made all the calls that I hunted with, a good friend of mine, he says, you're either gonna have to tuck that in or you have to take it off. And he was very into. I mean, he says, you
Right.
don't understand. He says, when they're coming up there, he says, and they can see. And so I didn't know, I know you were talking about camos, your camo dipping your guns and making it look exactly like your camo and stuff. And then you go on about, the face paint and stuff like that, because, guys will do all this stuff. And then they're like, well, you don't need face paint. I could just, well, as you can see now, I'm glowing because of this big old light that I got
Right.
here.
And the ducks will see that.
And the ducks will see that because of the sun. And
Right.
I know this just because, turkey hunting, there would be no way that I would sit in the woods without a full face mask for turkey hunting.
Right.
Because the glow, I mean, you can see how white and shiny that looks, Yeah, so I can tip my hat, okay, but I still got white showing,
Right.
I think that's what you're kind of, and then how am I supposed to shoot like this?
It's really not the white. It's because we both have white in our beards, but I don't call this white. I call this Spanish moss gray. So for you guys,
Okay, Spanish
it's not a Spanish moss gray,
okay.
but it's the glare off of our skin that you don't see now. I'm going to be camouflaged from head to toe.
Sassy.
I don't even wear my glasses when I'm duck hunting.
Right.
I take them off. If I wear sunglasses, I have several pair. I have a pair that I just goof around in. They're mirrored, and then I have a pair of dark lenses that if I have to wear sunglasses, I put dark mirrors on. So I mean, not mirrored, but dark. The dark lenses, right. So it doesn't shine.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm all about camo and camo on my face. If you're not going to wear face paint, you're going to wear a face mask. If you're not going to wear either one, you can start walking or start swimming. It's fine with me. Either one. Or you will be.
You're headed down. You're headed down the pond.
Yeah,
anyhow.
Get out. Yep, get out. But these ducks, and I think you're going to how good they can see. Well, just like turkeys, their eyes are on the side of their head. So I think there's like 180 degrees they can't see. So that's why they're always, when you watch ducks flying, they're always moving their head. Their head is always moving because they're prey and they're not predator. Predators have eyes more forward than prey. So with that theory, and you're hunting in water generally for waterfowl, it's not so much the sun coming and hitting you in the face when you're looking up, but it's the glare hitting from the water and bouncing into your face that pronounces your skin tone.
Right.
And if you're not camouflaged up, you're not wearing a face mask, or you're not having a face paint on, and there'll only be a handful of times that I'm duck hunting that I don't have face paint on, and it's generally if I'm hunting a pit blind or something where I'm down in the ground. But
right now, I mean, So what I would think, to a duck, the shine that comes off of your face, um, to a duck, that would be almost like taking like one of your reflective mirrors with the sun,
Yeah,
to like do an
it's like
SOS
turning
video.
headlights on. It's
Yeah.
like turning a set of headlights on. Yeah, and
So
and just there's the two most controversial things in duck hunting, in the duck hunting world, is face paint and summer duck calls or wood duck calls.
wood duck call.
Those are the two most controversial, argued things in the duck hunting world. Guys say, well, tip your hat down, look down, don't ever look up. Well, I want to see what the ducks are doing. I
Yeah.
want to see what's happening. I want, and the people that are with me, I want them to enjoy what I'm seeing. So, paint up,
Right.
don't care. I don't, look at me. I really don't care what people think. I walk into a convenience store at 2:00 in the morning, face paint,
Right.
Well, there's Matt. He's going duck hunting again,
Yep.
So,
Hey, no, we'll check out this Mr. Beast, but I will let Mr. Beast know if he's coming in here saying Mega Trump 2020 and he's gonna hurt my feelings. I am a Trump supporter. I'm one of those heathens. You know what I mean? But
well, I mean,
hey, I was gonna say that before we went. Make
it was
great again.
This is a playoff of it. So yeah.
Yeah, so Mr. Beast, you are welcome to the stream. As long as you're not trolling my channel. We like to support one another's channels here. And yeah, Mo, I appreciate you taking care of the other guys that were in here earlier. I did see one, and then I didn't see him, so I figured somebody grabbed a hold of him. So that's good. So before we go, is there anything you would anything that we didn't hit on that maybe you'd like to talk about or mention? Or we talked about a lot.
We talked about a lot.
I like, and I know we bounced around a lot, and there's so many.
Oh yeah.
Things that, but as far as your channel goes, and that's kind of what I wanted to showcase and spotlight. But the thing that I seen when I was watching the videos and bouncing around your playlist, and it's kind of weird because I congregated and I watched most of your conservation stuff, and I think it's because the first one I watched was about the migrating, but it's actually the name of it was Food for Thought, and it's kind of funny that. So I was like, okay, he's putting out there Food for Thought. So I thought you were going to be talking about Black community, something about going on that. So I was one of the first ones that I watched in that playlist, and you had me hooked because there's so much truth to that, and I think that is your channel is all about ducks. It's all about the conservation of ducks, so you can duck hunt. And of course, you got the preparation and the hunt itself. But I appreciate you educating. I guess is the best thing for. And I'm not saying even youth.
Right.
I was educated watching that video. Okay, I knew nothing. If you were going to talk to me about something like that, I'd have been talking to you about food plots and deer canisters, putting out deer feed, for deer and stuff like that. If we were going to talk something similar, and I had no idea that this flooding of the corn was going on until I watched that, and then you start thinking about some of the things, and as I alluded to, you kind of stimulated Boxy's brain into thinking,
wow,
well, this isn't even
wow.
just, well, yeah, because this isn't just, this just isn't laws and stuff about duck hunting. It goes, that's where I talked about it going across the board.
Right, it goes across the board, yeah.
And us as outdoorsmen and everybody that comes into my lives, I haven't had any, and trust me, I would welcome anybody who comes into my lives that is not an outdoors channel, as long as they are very respectful, because I want them to learn about the outdoors, because we that have the passion or the lifestyle, it goes more beyond just Matt and the duck hunting or Boxy and the trapping or archery hunting or, Thunder Ridge and bear hunting. We all have this, have to be kind of watching out for each other's backs, is I guess what I'm trying to say. And I loved your channel because you emulate not only the duck community, but you talked about the conservation, you talked about the migration, but you also talked about does memberships and numbers really count? And that's where I knew that you are more of helping preserve our hunting
heritage.
Yes. Yeah. So I just want to tell you, great channel. I wish you the best. You got a supporter here.
Thank you.
Got a couple videos that I'm going to check out still. And I'm sure I'm going to see plenty more. And,
I've got a lot of stuff that's been scheduled. Mm-hmm. I kind of went crazy this week. I put 4 videos out this week. I said, I got to get this out. I got to get it out,
Right. And then you got me kind of scrambling,
Yeah. And I figured, what? I was thinking about that too. This week I said, this guy's going to hate me when this week's over. But I had some things that were going on that I wanted. I really want to get 1 video a week. That was my goal. But there were things that were just happening that I had to get out, and get it out.
And that's what I want. That's what when I'm showcasing a channel, that's what I like to see. Tom Keltich last week too. I noticed he was taking some of his videos and putting them into the playlist and stuff. Because I talk a lot about that is these playlists. Because then I can come to your channel and I can look at, he's got something on conservation, and I can go there and I can watch every one of those videos. Or, if I'm looking for more of a tip and tactics, then you got a playlist there with, the ones that you put in there. So, I think that's cool when I'm actually going in there and, I see, video count goes, up a little bit. And what's even better is when I go in there and, I see your supporter count, has went up, 3 or 4. So I got to scratch out and say, okay, look, he's not at 100. He's not at 120 no more.
Don't even tell me, because I hadn't even looked at it, and I don't even want to know until when we're done, and I can look at it and jump up and down and scream and holler when I.
Well, I haven't looked at it. Normally, I look at it throughout my lives, but because we're doing this, and I think this went well. I'm hoping everybody in the chat found this as exciting and fun as I did. I know they had a lot of chats going on within the chat, which is great. And we had some people posting your links. So that was good.
But if I could real quick, this channel, like I said earlier today, and for the guys that are still here that didn't hear it, I've been thinking about this for years. I just didn't know how to put it together. And about 3 years ago, I met a 17-year-old kid and his dad while I was out scouting for early season teal. And they came up to my boat. They thought I broke down. And I got to talking to them. And that's how this thing actually came apart, because I was giving them tips on what to look. They're not duck. They duck hunted, but they're not duck hunters, if that makes sense.
No. Yep. Absolutely. That'd be me.
Yeah. Right. And I got to talking to him, and I actually exchanged phone numbers. And I told the young man and his dad, I said, listen, if you ever want to go duck hunting with me, just give me a call. Because I usually come out here by myself. My son's grown up. He's got a family. He can't always hunt with me like we used to. And that's how this came about, and started educating. And he actually said, so Mr. Matt, you really need to get a YouTube channel out. And I'll be quite honest with you. November of 2019 was my very first Facebook page. I didn't even have Facebook until November of 2019. That was last year.
Yeah.
8 months ago, 9 months ago, 8 months ago. So, and so I'm like all brand new to this whole social media thing. And I mean, it's crazy, but it was to educate and to show not only the younger hunters, but even some of the veteran hunters that may have really, it still works. Yeah, it still works. You know, the old ways still work. You know, come on, let's go. I'll show you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how it was all born and bred and came together.
Very good. So, as always, guys, I thank you, Matt, for letting me come over and check the channel out. Of course,
I thank y'all
and showcase it. And and I got to try to remember what it says. Something about the ducks migrating again.
Oh! Make ducks migrate again.
Okay, make. I keep forgetting the make part. I know. So make ducks migrate again. So before I leave you here, and I thank everybody for coming to this live. I see a lot. You guys know we're kind of winding down. I appreciate all the nice comments that you guys are saying about great live and commenting on and loving it, stuff like that. Bake a leg and digging it. Homestead kind of got me in here a little bit late. We've been with Matt Daddy Duck 365. Bake a leg, and let it dig. Can you message me either or comment? I know some people have been asking about you. I think you're from Pennsylvania, and that you may have recently lost your home or something to that fact. I don't have all the facts, but bake a leg and dig it. If you can get with me, I know I had Judith Davis, I believe it was, would like to help you out in some matter. So if you can give me a call, or not a call, but if you can message me, I am on Facebook and Instagram. Go on my about page, click on that if you have that, and get a message to me. So I can find out what's going on. With that said, make ducks migrate again. I wish you the best in that fight.
Thank you.
You have my support. Heck, I might even try to see about throwing my hat in the ring of being a number that matters for that. So I might be getting in touch with you. I think that's a great thing that I could maybe help support with you, and not so much your channel, but the basis behind, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep,
So,
I got it.
Guys, I'm going to put up that Shiner Guys. I know there's only 6 of us in here, but I'm going to put Shiner Guys up here. I'm going to put his link up here for his live that he is in right now. I'm hoping he's still alive, but let's go over there if you guys want to continue. He's a great channel. They have a lot of fun in there. I know he's got a panel up there. I think CP Grand Outdoors is over there as well. I saw him on the panel. But as I got some fireworks going off around me. I got some neighbors hitting fireworks. That's why I was looking over my shoulder. But like I say, I wish everybody, you have a blessed day, and enjoy and share your passion. And Foxy will be back 6 p.m. next Sunday night, or 8 p.m. Eastern time next Sunday night. Thanks again, Matt.
You're welcome.
Have a great night. See you guys.
Good night.